All right, so quick story time. I'm going to give you some insights on how I started my own digital marketing agency. Honestly, it's very hard to take that leap of faith or just really jump and trust yourself, right? And so back when I was 12, I loved basketball. I wanted to play in the NBA and all that good stuff, right? And people always told me I'm only 5'8", 5'9". They told me, hey, you're just too short, right? And so for me, I've always had that chip on my shoulder to really just say, hey, I'm going to prove you wrong. And I searched online, more so Yahoo back then in the day, right, where Pistol Pete Maravich, I might tell you my age, but Pistol Pete Maravich came up and he had these 4 VHS tapes: ball handling, shooting, dribbling, and passing. And I religiously just executed every day, me and my brother outside working on our craft. And long story short, made it Division I to play basketball at Davidson College at 5'9" again, right? And then going to play professionally overseas in the UK. It's just not, it's rare, especially coming from Maiden, North Carolina, super small town, right? And was able to defy the odds. Fast forward and how that relates to me starting my agency. Um, after the UK, I said, hey, I'm going to come home and just start a family. And I started working for this marketing company in Charlotte, North Carolina, and fell in love with marketing, just like almost like my passion for basketball, and fell in love with it. Learned how to do SEO, search engine optimization, and so for me, what I learned through basketball, if I applied myself and saw the result, the the fire just kept, I just fueled that fire, right? And so learned SEO and saw that, hey, I can help websites rank in Google. And that impacted their business immensely, right? And so for me, I created because how it relates to basketball, again, I created a basketball website. And I was just teaching kids how to, train themselves, how to get noticed by colleges, just everything that I went through. I took that knowledge from marketing, applied it to this website, and watched that website rank in Google. Fast forward, this company I worked for, I was there for about 5 years, and I knew, that I needed to learn different facets of SEO to be really good at it, such as analytics. And I don't consider myself analytical person. I compartmentalize things, but I wasn't back then super analytical. And so I knew I needed that. And at that time, that company was like hiring, new college grads, and I kind of grew in the ranks from SEO, or I started on the sales side actually. I was there for 6 months, crushed it, became one of the number one sales agents in the company, and I was able to transition to the IT department where I was learning how to code and utilize HTML, and then that's what kind of propelled me into the SEO world. And I grew from the SEO specialist to SEO team lead, SEO manager, but I said, hey, doing this on my own, from creating my own website, learning HTML, I need to be analytical and analyze this data to continue to help that site grow and rank in the search results, right? Long story short, I said, hey, to my managers, I want to become an analyst. And they were like, no, right? And I knew what it was. I knew I wasn't the prototype of who they hired in that role. And maybe it was something else. I have no clue, right? So fast forward, after 5 years, I left that company and I went to another big corporation, and I was hired as a SEO analyst. I knew that's what I wanted to do. Learn the analytical side while I was there, and then fast forward, I went to another marketing agency, and this just the timeline and how everything worked out. It was amazing because with this other marketing agency, the campaigns that I was working on, I was managing the relationships. So I went from, learning the technical side at the first company, learning the analytical side at the second company, and learning how to manage relationships at the third company. The third company, I wasn't even looking to start my own agency, to be honest with you. Um, lo and behold, I wrote an article on a major SEO website. I was getting my name out there, and this marketing agency got defensive about it, and they were like, "Hey, take that down, right?" And I did create a DB, or not a DBA, but I created a website that was like, "Hey, I'm doing side projects," and I was making honestly like $500 a month. But this is how God works, right? They said I couldn't go to a funeral that was happening in my family at that time, and me and my wife prayed on it, and we're just like, "Hey, you got to leave this company." So I left the company. Was probably the hardest decision I've ever made. Very scared. My wife was making like 30K. I had to go get it, and that was the push and the leap of faith. That I needed to just jump and trust God in this process. Fast forward, 10 years later, I started Organic Clicks, which was the non-brand company. When you start off, right, you got to take on whoever will help you pay your bills, right? Um, my wife has always been my biggest cheerleader, right? And so she happens to go into a dental practice that had 12 locations, and they messed up her treatment plan. And how God brings us, full circle for us working in the medical space. She worked in a few dental practices, when she was growing up, and so she goes into a dental practice, 12 locations. They messed up her treatment plan. She called him out on it. She's very blunt, and she says, "Hey, that's not right. And by the way, your website sucks. And my husband just started a marketing agency, and he can help you." That got me in the door. It was about the experience. That GM at the time, he he loved my presentation. We helped them grow from 12 to 40 locations within 2 years. So then every dentist after that was like, "Hey, whatever you did for this company, please do for us." And so that's what gave me the idea to rebrand and, change the focus to non-medical to just medical practices. And the business skyrocketed from there. So my message for you today, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you need to be pushed. Sometimes God will push you out of your comfort. But it was hard, but I'm just so glad that he was always there and I trusted him through the process. I hope that encourages someone today. And, let me know if you have any questions in the chat. But it is possible if you want to be an entrepreneur, especially in today's world, especially with AI. There's so many things that you can learn when it comes to, what's happening online. I would love to connect with you and give you some insights. But that's my story. Hopefully that inspires you. I'll see you guys next time.